What's good? Welcome to my channel, YouTube. What up, everybody that's watching? On today's episode of Character Deck Profiles, we are going to talk about Maximillion Pegasus, aka the Toon God, aka the Relinquished Boss, aka the Millenniumized. So yeah, welcome to my channel. We are going to be usually doing unboxings, character deck profile, thingamajigger. So whatever you guys want to see, let me know in the comments. If you are here, make sure you leave a little like, a comment, make sure you subscribe, show some love. I feel like every video I'm just getting a little bit better and whatnot. But for what you actually came for, here is the deck profile.
An entire magical cartoon world. Welcome, Kaiba.
What I like about Pegasus' deck is that you could either go the Toon route or you can go the Millenniumized route. I have a lot of primarily Toon cards for this deck, only for the simple fact that I love cartoons. Haha. The name JR Cartoons. Anywho, or again, you can go with the not even Millenniumized, the Eyes Restrict. Butcher me in the comments, I always mess things up. So as far as Pegasus's Toon cards, first card I put in the deck were 2 copies of Toon Mermaid. Just for the fact that if you have a Toon World on the field, you could special summon it. So imagine you have Toon World in your hand and you special summon 2 of those mermaids. The next Toon card that I put in Pegasus' deck is another one of his classic cards, Toon Cannon Soldier. Basically, Season 1. I called him Season 1. Oh, I already messed up. Pegasus has a few different versions of Toons, I guess you can say. You guys might be used to Season 1, which is the, Toon Mermaid, Blue Eyes, Toon Dragon, stuff like that. He has 3 seasons of Toon. The Toon World, you can special summon a Toon Mermaid from your hand. In order for it to attack, you have to pay 500 life points, so that's the Season 1 rule. Toon Cannon Soldier, which could actually tribute 1 monster and inflict 500 life points to your opponent. Manga Rearan is another OG Pegasus card. Same thing as Season 1 rules. Can be special summoned by attributing 2 monsters while you control Toon World. Again, Season 1 rules, you gotta pay 500 life points to attack. You need Toon World in order to summon it. And unfortunately, when Toon World is destroyed, those monsters will be destroyed as well. Same applies to this baby, Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Very iconic card from the episode where Pegasus beat Kaiba for the first time. But Kaiba got his revenge in the movie, so, it is what it is. Basically same thing. Cannot be normal summon, must be special summon by attributing 2 monsters while you control Toon World. Cannot attack the turn it was special summon, and again you need to pay 500 to even use the thing. And again, if Toon World is destroyed, bye bye Blue Eyes. Into Season 2. So if you watch the I think it was Dark Dimension, I forgot which movie it was that Kaiba and Pegasus had a rematch, but he premiered Toon Gemini Elf, so I thought it was cool to include in the deck. Toon Gemini Elf cannot attack the turn it is summoned. If Toon World on the field is destroyed, destroy this card. So it still has that Season 1 effect. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no 2 monsters, this card can attack your opponent directly, same thing as the other 2 cards. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Also premiered in the movie, Toon Dark Magician Girl. Cannot be normal summoned, must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 1 monster while you control Toon World. If Toon World is destroyed, destroy this card as well. Can't attack directly unless your opponent controls the 2 monsters, so most chances are they will not. So you can attack directly. This card gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. Season 3, Toon Cyber Dragon. So shout out to Zane. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Not attack the turn is summoned, which is Season 1 rules. That's whack. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no 2 monsters, this card can attack your opponent directly. Another Season 3 card, Toon Dark Magician. Once per turn, you can discard 1 Toon card, then activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Toon monster from your deck except Toon Dark Magician, ignoring its summon conditions. Or add 1 Toon spell from your deck to your hand. So this is a very good Dark Magician. I feel like this is better than Dark Magician. I honestly wish that this was a holo, to be honest, but you know what? I still love you, dude. I'm playing. Another Season 3 card. Toon Harpy Lady cannot attack the turn it is summoned. If you control Toon World, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control another Toon monster, you can destroy 1 spell trap your opponent controls. So this is very much like Toon Mermaid, that if you have a Toon World, you can special summon this card. You destroy if a Toon monster, if you control another Toon monster, you can destroy 1 spell trap your opponent controls. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, you're attacked directly. I got the mascot from the Toon Chaos booster pack that came out like a few months ago or something like that. Toon Black Luster Soldier. So it cannot be normal summon, must be special summoned from your hand by attributing tuned monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal level 8 or more. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack directly. Once per turn, if you control Toon World, you can target one card on the field and banish it. Also, this card cannot attack the turn this card effect is activated. Toon Blackluster Soldier is pretty lit. So if you have that Toon Dark Magician, apply that effect to special summon Toon Blackluster Soldier, boom, and it's a wrap. Now we start getting into Pegasus's Toon Magic cards. I have one copy of Toon Kingdom. I was actually very fortunate to find this card. It was actually really a little bit hard for me to find, but I have one copy of Toon Kingdom. When this card is activated, banish 3 cards from the top of your deck face down. This card becomes Toon World, so that's later. You gotta pay 1,000 life points. Your opponent cannot target Toon monsters you control with card effects. If a Toon monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 card from the top of your deck face down for each of those monsters instead. Going more into Pegasus' Toon cards, I have 2 copies of Toon Table of Contents. Add 1 Toon card from your deck to your hand. So if you need a Toon Kingdom or Toon World, Table of Contents will definitely help you out. Another one, Toon cards. Comic Hand. If you control Toon World, equipped to an opponent's monster, treat it as a Toon monster. If your opponent controls no Toon monsters, it can attack your opponent directly. If Toon World is on the field, destroy this card. So I put 2 of those in there. And then I have Classic Toon World. I have 2 copies of that, so just in case Toon Kingdom gets destroyed. I have 2 copies of Mimikat in this deck, so if you control Toon World and a Toon monster, target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard. If it's a monster, special summon it to the field. Or if it's a spell card, set it to your field. You can only activate 1 Mimikat per turn, and I put 2 copies in the deck. Next Toon card I have is Shadow Toon. If you control Toon World, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of that face-up monster. You can only activate 1 Shadow Toon per turn. I added 2 copies. Next Toon card is Toon Rollback. Target 1 Toon monster you control, it can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So I added 2 copies of this card. We're going to get into Pegasus's Toon Trap cards. I added Toon Briefcase. Is the only copy that I have. I wish I had more. But Toon Briefcase, when your opponent summons a monster while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster to the deck. Next, you have Toon Mask, which is another very powerful trap card. You control a Toon World, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, special summon 1 Toon monster from your hand or deck, whose level is less or equal to the level rank of the monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. Next, Toon Trap card I have is Toon Defense. If your opponent tries to attack a level 4 or lower Toon monster, you can have the option of making the attack direct, I guess, if you want. And last trap card that I have for Pegasus' Toon section is Toon Terror. When a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated while you control both Toon World and a Toon monster, negate the activation. If you do destroy that card, you can only activate 1 Toon Terror per turn. Pegasus' Toon cards definitely, they might be a little outdated, but part of business. Into some of these vanilla cards in Pegasus' deck. Decided to go with Dark Rabbit, Toon Alligator, Red Archery Girl, and Parrot Dragon. And I also added a Giant Bakugan just to give it some... To be honest, I just do it in there because I know Pegasus had that card like way back in the show. The first card I decided to go with in Pegasus is Millennium Eyes, Eyes Restrict, whatever you want to call it, archetype. Starting off with Relinquished. You can ritual summon this card with Black Illusion Ritual. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls. Equip that target to this card, max 1. This card's attack and defense become equal to an equipped monster. This card will be destroyed by battle. Destroy the equipped monster instead. While equipped with the monster, any battle damage you take from battle involving this card inflicts equal effect damage to your opponent. So, boom. The way to bring them out is using Sonic Bird. Basically, when this card is normal or flip summon, you can add 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Another good ritual support card is Manju of 10,000 Hands. Summon it, it allows you to add 1 ritual monster card or 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Mystic Tomato, that's another one of Pegasus' old cards. I use him to basically bring out the Millennium Eyes Illusionist. I put 2 copies in his deck. Quick effect, it's a hand trap basically. You can discard this card, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls. Equip that target to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish you control, as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. An Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish is special summoned. Add this card from your graveyard to your hand. This is not optional. You can only use this effect once per turn. Next card I added was the Illusionist Faceless Mage. Your face-up, Eyes Restrict fusion monster or relinquish monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. You can special summon this card from the graveyard. I also thought I would add a Greater Eagle, just because it basically functions as a relinquished. But if this card is in your monster zone, is destroyed by battle or monster effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip this card to the target. While this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, take control of that monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. Up now to the spells of Relinquished. Well, spells of the Eyes Restrict. Black Illusion Ritual. This helps you bring out that Relinquished that I talked about earlier. I also added Relinquished Fusion. Fusion summon one Eyes Restrict fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials from your hand, field, and or graveyard. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one effect monster your opponent controls. Equip that target to an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquished you control, as if it were equipped by the monster's effect. You can only use the effect of Relinquished Fusion once per turn. Now to the extra deck. Pegasus's extra deck consists of Thousand Eyes Restrict, which was, premiered in the Yugioh versus Pegasus duel. I also added Millennium Eyes Restrict, which is one of Pegasus's new fusion cards, and it basically functions as a Thousand Eyes Restrict. And basically, they all have the same function as Relinquish, so these cards are pretty much the same. As far as adding like little few extra cards to Pegasus' deck to give them flavor, I added one copy of Cauldron of the Old Man. When this card is activated, place one counter on it. Once per turn during your standby phase, place one counter on this card. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Either gain 500 life points for each counter on this card, or inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each counter on this card. So if you use Toon World and you want to gain that 1000 life points back, Cauldron of the Old Man will definitely help you. Also, cost down. Who doesn't like summoning monsters for the low? Cost down. A good old-fashioned Monster Reborn. Bring back something that's obviously destroyed from either player's graveyard. Enchanted Javelin, also there for the life point support. Select one attacking monster, gain life points equal to the attack. I also added Dust Tornado. Target one spell trap your opponent controls. Destroy that target. You can set one spell trap card from your hand. I also added Double Magical Armband because I'm pretty sure Pegasus had this card, if I'm not mistaken. For tribute two monsters, then target two face-up monsters your opponent controls. Take control of both targets until your end phase. And lastly, I added Compulsory Evacuation Device. Return one monster on the field to its owner's hand. So basically, bye-bye. See you later. Anyways, thank you for watching. I know it's like 15 minutes long. But anyways, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you leave a like, a comment. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more shenanigans.